It was like about 2017, I'd been hearing about MI. It was coming into the research with allied healthcare providers, and some PTs were, like talking about it in health coaching and in nutrition. And then I showed my educator, and I was taking his classes, and I showed him some work that Pete O'Sullivan was doing in cognitive functional therapy. And I thought it was fascinating. He'd learn that all himself just by saying, I need to understand the patient's problem from the patient's perspective. And so that was like the gateway saying, I got to do this.
John, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks, Jimmy. Good to see you.
Glad to have you back. Saw you talking in the open mic the other day. They're doing open mic nights now here at the AOMPT conference. What was the? Give me a recap of the story or the idea, the concept you were sharing with everybody.
Yeah, the open mic was fun. It was like, do you have a funny story, something to make you laugh, to make you want to cry, a poignant story, something about our career. And for me, it was I talked about communication. I mean, it's a big topic for me right now, with motivational interviewing being what I'm doing a lot of teaching on. But it was how I had some really bad communication in my life over the years.
Sure.
And I kind of told a story about where I went through a divorce, and I thought I was a good communicator, and come to find out that maybe I wasn't so good.
Yeah.
And then I challenged that with my patients and started doing a deep dive into it. Here we are, 25 years later. Rocking and rolling and moving in the right direction.
So
Can't say I'm there, but I'm moving.
It took that reflection of, hey, I thought it was this, but then upon further review, it's this, and now I can get better at it.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I was communicating well with patients, but maybe not with my interpersonal relationships.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, I'm taking things for granted, doing that kind of stuff. So it was very powerful. So it was fun, and I told some funny stories, some weird things that patients do.
Yeah. We have a lot of those.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clinician, educator, lifelong learner, more than 40 years experience in this profession?
Yeah, yeah.
That's not too shabby,
It's like 43 coming up, yeah.
Wow, good for you.
That's a long time.
So what were you doing here? You wrapped up your Masterclass, right? Touch, talk, and transform. What was the main lesson or lessons that you wanted attendees to walk away with? What's the tools they're walking away with?
Yeah, that's a great question. They wanted Derek and Megan, president and vice president, said, hey, John, do a Masterclass. Teach us something. Do something cool, your experience. It can be hands-on. It can be lecture. It can be experiential. Make something fun. Do it. I go, what do you want it on? Whatever you want it on.
Of course.
So, okay, all right. That which makes it harder, right? So what I did is I kind of thought about some 5 clinical pearls in my career, things that have been really, really pivotal, that have made me a better therapist. And I talked about mentors, some of my best mentors and some of the people, and learning, of course, the skill of motivational interviewing, how that has helped me become a better therapist by listening, empathic listening. And then some of the classic hands-on work. And one of the funny ones was the great story about, there was this chiropractor, Gordy Ainsley, from Meno Vista area. That's just over the hill from here, where we are right now in Reno. And he did the Western States 100. He was the original guy that talked about, or that did the Western States. His horse went lame, the Tevis Cup, and so he said, I'm going to run it. And he ran 100 miles from Squaw Valley all the way over the mountain range and to end in Auburn. 100-mile run. He did it in less than 24 hours, 1974 or 73. That was the start of ultra running. And he started it by saying, I'm going to run it. And he did it. And this guy's a chiropractor. And before the race, he's always there the day before doing little tune-ups for people on the treatment table, and he's doing body work, and he's doing this cool stuff, and he's playing his reggae music, and he's kind of bobbing and weaving. And I thought, this guy's cool. And I got on the table and let him manipulate me from head to toe. I was like, this guy's amazing. This guy's great. So to me, that was very instrumental to learn something different, learn something from another professional, not just us PTs. We're not the greatest. There's great stuff going on in all these other different groups. And so I had the group practice that, a little whole body OMT that I got in 1996 and have been using with patients for years.
Love that.
Yeah, it was funny.
You've said here and on previous conversations we've had that the best therapists are the best listeners. How can clinicians actually train that skill? right? This is something that it's a skill, which means we can improve upon it, right?
That's right.
How can clinicians train that skill the same way they might train a manual therapy technique or something like that?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's what happened to me. I trained that skill. I took that deep dive. Well, you and I had that conversation in 2022 when I was learning motivational interviewing, and last year I went through my final, if you will, certification or whatever. I'm now a member of MINT, MINT, Motivational Interviewing Network of Trainers, and so it's an international organization that kind of certifies people in this skill of motivational interviewing. So now I feel like a novice. It's like I've got this training, but I'm such a novice. And so how cool is that? I got another probably 20 years to try to get better at it and continue to help people. So that's one of the ways, is going through the MINT, MINT organization, looking at that. They've got training, and then that's what I'm going to be doing now, is starting the training of educating people on, getting through a MINT certification.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
We'll talk about more motivational interviewing. It's usually taught in mental health, not necessarily in manual therapy or PT. What made you realize this belongs in PT's toolkits?
Yeah, that's funny how that happened. It was like about 2017. I'd been hearing about MI. It was coming into the research with allied healthcare providers, and some PTs were like talking about it, and in health coaching and in nutrition. And then I showed my educator, this guy Steve Berg-Smith from the San Francisco Bay Area. He's an MFT, and I was taking his classes, and I showed him some work that Pete O'Sullivan was doing in cognitive functional therapy. And I had videotaped Pete O'Sullivan's work doing some of this interviewing patients, and I thought it was fascinating. And I showed it to Steve Berg-Smith, and he goes, "Oh my God, he learned MI beautifully. Where did he learn that?" I said, "Nobody." And he goes, "Wow, he learned that all himself." He found it just by saying, "I need to understand the patient's problem from the patient's perspective." He figured it out and said, "God, he's doing it beautifully." And so that was like the gateway, saying, I got to do this. I got to learn how to do this, learn how to talk to patients, listen to understand, instead of listen to then come back with a rebuttal or a fix it. So that was the start of it going into physical therapy.
You've mentioned before that AOMPT is becoming more inclusive of things like motivational interviewing and lifestyle medicine. Why do you see that as necessary in the evolution of our colleagues and our profession?
Oh, great question. Yeah, it's so necessary because the research is guiding it, is taking us there. I mean, the research shows Jeremy Lewis last year was doing the AOMPT conference, and he had a full day on the shoulder. And they were finding out that treating patients with musculoskeletal pain for shoulder injuries, they got better when they changed and worked on their lifestyle medicine, instead of working on the mobilization technique, the therapeutic exercise. When they addressed their sleep hygiene and their diet and their nutrition, patients got better. And so the whole idea, that's what AOMPT has done now, has created a bigger scope of what the definition of OMPT is. So research-based, kind of pushing us in that direction, that's been the key thing.
John, you're 65, is that true?
In a couple of weeks.
In a couple of weeks, and you're still racing bikes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
What's that taught you about performance, pain, purpose at this stage in your life?
It tells me that I think I should quit in about when I turn 85.
Good.
I figure 85.
Good.
Yeah.
Give yourself 2 more decades.
Yeah.
Really
yeah.
get
Exactly.
through it.
Because I'm going to stop treating patients in June, and then I'm going pro. Exactly. That's how you go pro. I'm going to get some T-shirts, some hats, and I'll get a lot of injuries probably, because that's all I'll be doing is training and racing.
You got friends.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm going pro.
So what's cycling teach you? I mean, I ride. You were riding cyclocross, right?
Cyclocross, any mountain bike.
I've ridden a little bit of mountain bike, more cycling, road bikes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time out there to think. Until a car swerves in front of you.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot of lessons to be learned in especially in endurance sports like that. What do you think maybe cycling has taught you?
Oh my God, isn't that great? You're good, Jimmy. You got the good questions. Wonder why you're doing this.
The key is ask the question, but I never have to answer any of them, so I always look smart.
Yeah, you're so smart. I know, I love it. No, it's really fascinating. But that's real cool because I've been asked that in a different way, right? for example, mindfulness, stress reduction based, information that we've learned from John Kabat-Zinn from 1970s. It's like now physical therapy, we're embracing that. Oh, we got to teach people lifestyle medicine. And people talk about, what do you do for your mindfulness? My mindfulness is on the bike.
On the bike.
Is when I'm on a climb and it's an hour climb and you're zigzagging up switchbacks. I can get in my zen when my heart rate is pumping.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit on the couch and do it, because I'm going to scratch my head and scratch my nuts. I'm going to move around. I'm going to move all over. I'm going to think about this, I want to sip a coffee, but I'm on the bike and
There's a purpose.
And there's a rhythm. The body's rhythm. I feel so good to be able to move, bob, and weave, and that's where I get it. And so I get my mindfulness, I get my stress reduction, I get my fitness, my health, all of it right there. And it's just, to me, that is, and I hope to really, truly race for decades.
Good for you.
Yeah.
That's great.
Keeps us young, right?
Yep. I love it. All right.
You know that. Yeah.
So let's say this. As you look towards retirement, what do you want your legacy as a teacher and mentor to really be?
Empower patients to help themselves. That's been my thing. I need to empower people to be the best they can be. Patient, friend, son, wife, and how can I help you, empower you to do that? And I'm just going to be the guide, like the MI says, the guide. What can I do to help you do that? What do you need, and how are you going to do that? Tell me how you're going to do that. So to me, is my legacy, is to, I think the classic term, train smarter, not harder.
Yeah.
Educate smarter, not harder. Communicate. So everything about that is that I'm the lifelong learner and the lifelong athlete. And when people say, well, you're getting 65, I mean, don't you think you should just start doing like group rides?
Mm-hmm.
No. I told my wife and my friends, if you ever hear me say, hey, I think I'm just going to join the bike club in town, you can shoot me.
All right.
Yeah. No, not the bike club. The racing team.
There you go. Good.
The racing team. That keeps us young.
Yeah.
That
agreed.
keeps us healthy.
Agreed.
No.
Every episode we do, we have a parting shot at the end. Idea, concept, sentiment, quotes. What's a lesson or something you'd want to leave with the audience as we wrap up?
Ooh. Man, you're getting me. I don't know. I just be at your best. I mean, we always have something to learn. Be at your best. I want to empower people to be at their best, and I want people to respond to that and do their best.
Yeah.
Show up. I had this one picture that I sent to one of my buddies who just walked up, and he said, I've seen you on the podium in the last year a couple times. And he goes, but the thing is, you've only been on there like second or third, I've noticed. I never see you on the top box. And I said, you son of a bitch. Yes, I have been. And I found a picture. Well, I showed up. I was the only one that was in my age group. So I had to just finish.
Yeah.
I showed up, top spot on the podium.
Good for
got
you.
a big old bottle of wine. A happy camper.
John,
Show up.
It's half the battle. John, always appreciate you having on the show. Thanks for coming and sharing some insight on here at AMPT.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening to Hands On, Hands Off, the official podcast of AMPT. Subscribe now so you never miss an episode, and connect with us at ampt.org or at AMPT on social. Opinions are those of the guests and not official AMPT policy. See you next time.